I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I've been to go, glad that you know. I'm up to some. Heaven just gave me the green light to go. I'm up to some. Girl, I been knew that you been down. I'm up to some. It's always you and your friends round. I see you got the new kin style, pretty in style. Been thinking though, they heard my name round, they don't think I know. Your girl in the back when a cloud chase. I guess for the night we'll keep it OC. That's a great distraction, but you know I'm on a mission. Y'all got 3 months to get practice, almost like I'm chasing chicken, cause I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. I'm up to something. One day back in my timeline, you was worried about my limelight.
Hey, welcome to What's Next. And today's show is Who Influences the Influencer? And my name is Sharon Thompson. I'm with the Porterhouse KC. I'm one of the co-founders. And I would like to say that about the Porterhouse, we are a nonprofit that serves the underserved entrepreneurs in Kansas City metro area. And we give business resources to them as, you know, a way of giving back to the community. So another host is over to my right. What's the left on the screen?
Righteous. Dan Smith with the Porterhouse KC. We're excited to be here. It's going to be a great night tonight. We got a lot of great guests, a lot of energy in the building or in the houses that everybody residing, whatever that looks like.
And another host we have here is Morgan. Go ahead, Morgan.
Hey, everybody. It's Morgan from the Public Library. As usual, reporting live from my kitchen, keeping it very real during COVID. And I'm about to turn off my emails so we don't hear that annoying ding anymore.
All right. And one of our guests is Anita Dixon. Hey, Anita.
Hello.
Hey.
This is exciting.
Yep. And tell us a little bit about you, Anita.
A little bit about me. Well, I have done a lot. I'm a grandmother of 3. I've got, young man, I'll be honest with you. If I started my resume right about now, we'd be here in the next 15 minutes. So let's just say that my best interest has been the preservation, the distribution, and the monetizing of the importance of African-American heritage from here to Copenhagen, Denmark. And ask me any questions. I'm 64 years old. 9 times out of 10, I can tell you quite a bit of it. So,
well, welcome.
I'm interested in seeing who these young people are here because I got jobs. Okay, I want to hear what y'all doing.
And we definitely want to know a little bit about the jazz, the history that you have. We're going to get into that a little bit later. We also have Mallory here with Broke Ass Girls Travel. What's up, Mallory?
Hey, what's up? I'm Mallory. Mallory, whichever. Yeah, I'm a travel blogger, and I'm wanting to hear about these jobs, because I'm ready for them.
I got plenty.
I'm ready to work.
I got plenty.
All right, and Mally, she's a big time influencer as far as travel, like all over the country, all over the world. She's internationally known. She's one of the top 20 influencers as BuzzFeed right now. She just posted that today. And then as far as Essence, she's one of the top 52. And then up next, we got Glenn Walters. What's up? International barber.
Sir
Glenn. Yeah, my name is Glenn Walters. I've been a barber stylist for like 11 years, and it's kind of led me to be able to do some international travels and educate as well. So I'm really excited to be here today with you guys.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you.
It's my barber too. I just want to let y'all know. So anything, if y'all have any suggestions, if something's wrong or anything like that, this is the guy to blame right here. I'm just letting you know.
Put me on blast.
What happened?
I don't know.
There you go.
All right, and up next we have Bam Keith, Grammy, jazz, and he is an artist. He's the one who's on our intro every week. We have some music and we change it up every now and then, but Brandon's usually on our intro doing the walking around and he's rapping on there. What's up, Bram?
What's up? What's going on? How y'all doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what you're doing there, Bam.
So pretty much I'm a producer, audio engineer, and songwriter. I go around the nation, sometimes fly out of country to write for other artists, produce for them, engineer, pretty much just making sure your sound sounds like what's on the radio, and it's just my job. And yeah, I love it. I do it for myself as well. So I'm an artist as a producer. Bam Keith is both producer artist for me, and it's pretty much what everyone knows me by. So funny. Yeah. No one really knows my name. It's called Bam all the time. So it's like,
Pull them up on Spotify. If you haven't heard of Bam, pull them up on Spotify,
iTunes,
and just let it rock.
Amazon Music, listen to it, the whole album rocks.
Absolutely.
So now what we're gonna get into, I'm gonna get into the shout outs. Everybody gonna give out their shout outs. I got a whole list. I don't know if I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first.
Sharon got pages and pages of shout outs.
So with my shout outs, I like to give a shout out to my wife with Iamd.c Place. She's doing some good, amazing things. I like to give it out to Ewing Kaufman. They're doing some good things. Chess Inc., our cohorts at Porterhouse KC. We do it every Saturday with them, and we go over the business classes with them. Floyd Mayweather Gym, Dre Taylor, Casey Dackshot, David Jordan with the drip water. You see my shirt? It's a collab coming up soon. So, and congratulations to Sean Edwards with hosting the AFI Movie Club. That's a big thing right there. I'd like to give a shout out to Chef Shanita, Sharon Sanders Brooks, Kiana, PlexPod, where we at right now, PlexPod, Wesley Hamilton, Amon Pagee, Darren Cooper, Morgan Cooper, revamping the Fresh Prince. It's dope. Chantel Tomlin and Chanel Smith, Lonnie Bush, Kiera, Adrian Hayes. And that's it for my shout outs.
I thought he had 2 pages. I literally thought this was 2 pages worth of shout outs. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So I want to shout my wife out too. She's holding it down, really excited about the school year, about to start. Sharon said Kaufman Foundation. We are a Kaufman funded organization, the Porterhouse KC. So without their support, a lot of this stuff that we do wouldn't be possible. And Chess Inc. as well. They are our partner organization. Without them, none of this stuff is possible either. And Sharon alluded to our Saturday, our cohort. This is our first cohort. This is the first group of folks. We got 12 strong entrepreneurs in our program, and we're really excited about them and what they're doing. Last week, a couple weeks ago, we had the voice of the Kansas City Royals on our show, which was phenomenal. One of our cohort participants, we connected her with the CEO of the Goodwill, the Mocan Goodwill. She got a lot of gems from that. I mean, we're trying to connect these folks and make some things happen. So really excited about that. Sharon gave all the other shout outs, so I'm going to stop there.
I took a lot of.
Morgan, who you got?
I like to shout out both the Kansas City Public and Mid-Continent Public Libraries. They are both purchasing hotspots that people can rent, because here's the deal. I know I'm such a Debbie Downer every time we do this, but we got a bunch of kids that are probably going to be doing virtual school at some point this year, right? Unfortunately, we learned last week that just the Wi-Fi access that's available in the urban core isn't enough to actually get these kids set up to where they can participate in their online schooling. So thank you, libraries, for stepping up and providing access to hotspots for free, so that those that are really interested in making sure their kid isn't experiencing that slippage, they have an access to do that. So I think that's amazing, and I want to thank them for doing it.
Dope.
That was a really good shout out.
It was.
Great.
That was really thought out. I'm just saying.
All right, Anita, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. Shout out to any dadgum body who's stupid enough to vote for Trump for any reason by voting for somebody else other than Biden or Harris, no matter what you say. The other one virtually would be is I got a fierce daughter who is probably one of the greatest people I've ever known, and she's listening somewhere out there. And as a person, so hi Tina.
Go, hi Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Hi Tina. Hey, as a
Thanks,
matter of
Tina.
fact, I'm glad you said that, Anita. So we got folks that are watching. If you are watching right now, tap in, give us a high five, give us a how you doing, something in the comment section so we can recognize that you're here and we love it. So who's next? Mally?
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't have any shout outs. My mama. I don't
There you go.
that's it.
That works. That works. LaMonica's in the building. Hey, LaMonica.
Hey. All right. Got Glenn. You got shout outs there, Glenn?
Yeah, I have a couple. My family, I just knock all them out right there. My family, my mentors like Rick Phillips, Joey, Mr. Rios, and definitely I have to give a shout out to Leah Wells at Salon. That's where I work in Leawood, and if I don't shout her out, I'll probably get in trouble for that.
There you go.
That's what's up. All right, Bam Keith, you got any shout outs?
Yes, I want to shout out to, my wife. No, I'm playing. I ain't married. But no, shout out to my mom. My mom for sure. My sister. And she's had a huge hand in me and my knowledge of hip hop and just production periods since I was a kid. She's put me on so much music, and my mom has too. And my other sister, Chrissy, she's put me on a lot too. It's more of the R&B way, but I'm fine with that. But I want to shout out to all of them and to Psych Studios. It's a studio now that I'm with and partial owner of, and just for them, coming up to me and helping out with so many other things that I have to do during the day. Just want to shout out to all you guys, So thank you.
That's dope shout outs, man.
Hold on, really quick. I got one more shout out. So I want to shout out Chris Good, Ruby Jeans Juicery. Chris is, Ruby Jeans. Obviously, a lot of our businesses in our community have experienced some major losses, and Chris Good and Ruby Jeans Juicery is also included in that. And they had to make the hard decision to close their downtown location this past week. And they talked about it a little bit on social media, but I just want to, and they also got a win. They got a $10,000 grant also to help them with their operation expenses and whatnot. But I just want to shout those guys out and all the other small business owners out there that are really trying to keep their business afloat, keep alive, and keep pushing. We want to shout those folks out. Keep supporting those guys. Keep supporting these Black-owned businesses, these small businesses. We appreciate you guys for staying forward. And yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was I had to throw him out there too.
That's kind of like a Flowers right there.
Yeah,
and we was about to go. So Dan liked to do this deal called Flowers. And one of my flowers is I like to give it to teachers and parents this year for staying at home. Like Morgan said, with the laptop. My wife, she's at home with the kids, trying to teach them on the laptop and work at the same time. It's going to be a difficult situation in her way. It's going to be experience. It's going to be a difficult situation for everybody. So just flowers to them.
Dope. And flowers to our guests, everybody. And we're going to get into the reasons why you guys definitely got Ryan Harvey in the building. We got Lauren commenting. What's up, people?
Hey,
tap in with us. But we got our flowers are really to acknowledge and to really just give, I don't know what the word is, just flowers. Acknowledgement and appreciation to the folks that are staying forward, that are really doing things that are necessary to keep pushing our culture forward. So Glenn, Bam, Mally, Anita, thank you specifically for doing what you do and continuing to stay forward in everything that you guys do, because it really, everybody, and I told you guys before we got on, like we're all watching you guys, right? Everybody's still watching you and trying to follow you in your lead by example and what you do in your daily interactions. And the social media obviously allows us to do that. But we all appreciate you guys for staying forward because it motivates us and empowers us all to continue to do what we do every day as well. So Thank you all for what you do. Enough of that. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the conversation.
Let's get into the who influences
D. Cooper's in the building.
The influencers. All right, go ahead, Danny. You got the first question.
So, and this is for everybody. This is for the whole group, and you guys can all tap in. What were you doing before COVID hit? What are you doing now? And then what's our plan after? I know it's a loaded question, but what were we doing before COVID hit? Like right before, if we had any plans to, like you said, travel or to produce some music or event planning, whatever the case may be. What were we doing before? And then what was our pivot when COVID hit? Anybody can start. You can just jump in there.
You want anybody to start?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh, okay. You're talking to us and not the outside audience. Okay.
Yeah.
For one thing, I was getting ready to do my 4th international travel. I wrote the UNESCO Creative City of Music designation, the United Nations Education, Scientific, and Cultural Organization that made Kansas City the only creative city of music in the United States under the UN.
Wow.
And I had been attending all of these various international markets to promote music through creativity and the creative market, the economic market for creative. And then just about that, after that happened, I was announced that I got the first American Music Apprenticeship Program under the Department of Labor. Did any of you know that musicians were not considered to be a profession? They were only considered to be an occupation. So it took me 3.5 years to convince the Department of Labor that musicians is a registered apprenticeship. And so now I'm working on doing more of that. And as we were getting ready to prepare to go to Brazil and Medellin, to Colombia, to start talking about how in Medellin, they took this entire drug culture and turned it into a flower culture and literally obliterated all of the drug culture stuff that was coming through Medellin. And just as that, COVID hit. And I found myself a 3-time heart patient stuck in my house because I'm a truly high risk, older and with problems. So, but what it gave me a chance to do is I got back in front of this computer and I started writing grants and setting stuff up for people and making connections with folks so they could keep making money. And it's almost, and I won't say a blessing, I've had some friends die, but it has gotten me more focused. So if there was any positive thing that happened, that was it.
Yeah.
So I'm still working.
Wow. Wow.
And my husband's rich, and I ain't got no problems.
I hear you.
I ain't out on the grind at all, okay?
I hear that.
At all.
All right, Mally. Same questions.
Oh yeah. Before this, I was traveling. Like I said before, I'm a travel blogger. I travel for a living. I host group trips, so I create trips that are affordable and anyone can join. So I was hosting trips right before this whole pandemic started. I was in Cape Town, South Africa, because I bought a house there, and I flew home in March, and there were only like 4 people on the plane. So, I was like one of the last few people in. Wow. Since then, I've just been at home, surviving, being creative, trying to use my time to relax. And beyond that, I've just been planning for the future, trips that I have lined up for 2021 and ideas and plans that I have beyond that. Also encouraging people to take advantage of all the deals that are available right now, since airlines and travel companies are hurting. So there's so many like flight deals. You can book flights right now for summer 2021 for great deals, flexible flights. So I've just been encouraging all my friends to do that, and to not make plans for the future based on current circumstances. So that's all.
I'm not sure if my wife is watching, but hopefully she's not, because she's gonna be one of those. Mally told us we need to go ahead and start booking these flights out, and she's watched. She's already. That's if she's watching. So hopefully she's not. So it is good.
See, my wife,
I will message her directly. No worries.
All right, Glenn. Same question.
See, this is what I'm saying. She's watching. She just commented in the section. I knew it.
She is watching.
I knew it. Glenn,
okay, before COVID, I guess the same. I was like, I had some travel plans and a lot of classes lined up and everything, which all got shut down during COVID. And I ain't gonna lie, that first month of lockdown, I didn't do anything. I was just lazy, and it felt good. I mean, you don't realize how much you need that unwind time, And then after that, I kind of buckled down, I guess, because a source of income, like nobody's feeding you or anything. So you either just sit around and wait, or you just have to pivot, like you said. So, man, I buckled down a lot. I started planning classes for when all this is over. So I'll be ready with that. I have started really studying the algorithm on social media and stuff, because that's kind of like, honestly, right now is our biggest tool, because we can't do much or get out there like that. So I really been buckling down on that. So hopefully, but just preparing and making sure that I'm ready for, the return, I guess. The open, I don't know what it's called, but you know what I mean.
Right. The return. We got a title right now. The return. Glenn's also been doing some creative stuff with his kids.
Oh yeah.
The videos.
We've been checking out the videos.
We got a couple of them you posted.
Yeah, that was another thing actually. I kind of like stumbled upon that, and everybody. It had a really good turnout. Like a lot of people really liked it, so I think I might start something else, so I can add that to that too. So
dope.
Yeah, they pretty dope, and I've been checking them out, just so you know.
Thanks, man, appreciate it.
No problem. All right, Bam, what was you doing?
All right. First of all, I apologize. They're cutting grass outside my apartment.
We can't hear it.
Oh, okay, cool. But before COVID, I know summer of 2019, I went to Anguilla Island to work with the Grammy Association for a program pretty much to help teach people how to use what they already know how to do music to be creative. And you never know. In this program, it's like, it's people that maybe one girl, she plays a harp, and someone else plays the bass guitar. He's in a metal band, and then some other guy's a drummer, the gospel church, whatever, and then some other guy's a rapper. Let's see what we can put together. And am honored, actually, very honored to be a part of the first studio ever built on that island. There, they usually have to take a boat, $75 a ticket to go to the next island to go to the studio. So we built them a studio out of a bank, an old bank that they had, and was able to pretty much give them something on their own island to, record or to write or have a space to be creative and to have this program out of too. So I did that, and around January, I got my third placement. It's on Cartoon Network, a show called Steven Universe, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it was cool. And I thought it was, surprising. Honestly, it was just, it came out of nowhere pretty much. And then COVID hit. And once that hit, I started cooking more. Not in the studio, but like, yeah.
Nice.
just like wanted to pick up on other skills, and like, I started learning Spanish and just different things that I just, never thought of. And it was pretty cool. Luckily for my career, I don't need to be in person all the time anyways. There are programs and softwares out here where we can have sessions without being in person, or maybe classes or master classes, everyone hops online, something like this, and pretty much just the only thing I've been doing is just working around and getting people on to different opportunities or avenues that, setting up through the Grammys or through the label. And I ran into a studio and they had no one to run it. And it was over in Blue Springs on Route 7. And they asked me to run it, and I became partial owner of it. And so now I've been running the studio, hired some engineers to come in, some really good guys that come in and work and take their job seriously. And it's pretty much what I've been doing before, during, and after COVID. So, yeah.
Dope.
Nice.
Dope. I love that.
Most definitely.
So you guys, and I know, so Sharon's running this show, right?
I am running the show.
But I like to talk, so it's okay. So I'm gonna talk a little bit, just a little bit, right? So you guys, we consider you guys, like everybody on here, influencers, right? Like you guys influence in a lot of different ways in your lanes, in your mediums, right? And so we know that there's people that you guys influence, right? So your influencer. And that's what we see you guys as, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that are following. So when we looked at Mally's blog post or her 20 best or 50 best, you best believe that there are influencers that are looking up Mally or that follow Mally that want to know how she does what she does, right? And so that kind of leads us into what Sharon's going to talk about a little bit in his questions. But I just wanted to let you know, like the folks that are watching, these are the influencers.
Exactly. So what does it mean to be an influencer to you, Anita? And then everybody answer like we always did.
And it looks like Anita has something else. You're on mute. Yeah. There you go.
How's that? Okay, I don't know how that happened. What does it mean to be an influencer? I just kind of like live my life. I don't deliberately go out to influence anyone. I just, I have my own thoughts. I've got my own moralities, ethics type things. And it motivates me to do things and people listen, and I'm of that vein and from the old school that, you gotta walk the talk. If you're not walking the talk, you can talk all the trash you want to, and nobody's going to be influenced by what you do because there's no fruit from what your words say. Right. So, I've got as many people that I influence positively as a bunch who can't stand me when I walk in the room. You know what I mean? Because I'm just going to be me. I owe no one nothing, because I've always just been me. I've never taken a side that I didn't believe in or want to push. So nobody can back me up against a wall. And I kind of like come in the room with the, hey, what's up? If I can help, I can help. If I don't believe what you're doing, I'm going to leave you alone. If you don't leave me alone, then it's going to be a problem. So, I've lived my life trying to help. If you say you need help, I'm going to take you at face value. If you change who you are among that time, you're going to get the other side of me. And I hope that influences other people to just treat people right. Because that's what I strive to do all my life. Just, hey, if I can help, but if I can't, I will never be a hindrance. I'll never be in your way.
Right.
That influences somebody.
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
All right, Mally.
I think it simply means that we potentially have, attention, a platform. A lot of people think of like brand deals when they think of influencers. So, people selling something or ads, and, as a person on the internet, I can't make you purchase anything, or I can't make you feel any type of way about anything. All I can do is just honestly speak my mind, like Anita said, be myself, and share my thoughts on my platform in order to try to help people. So that's what I think of when I think of an influencer.
That's dope. That's dope. All right, Glenn, what does it mean to be influencer to you?
I mean, I feel like everyone can influence, but I guess when you're talking about like the status, the influencer status, I guess when you build enough of a backing and a following to have a greater impact,
Right.
like just like I don't know, I feel like you can tell more genuine. Like everyone here, I don't think anyone really set out or they walk around saying I'm an influencer, like
Right.
when we did it, we set out to be successful.
I think you guys are
Dude, when we're
influencers.
not on camera, he's like walking down the street and be like, "Hey, I'm an influencer. I'm just letting everybody know you need to follow me."
But did he set out to do it though? Like they say I want to be successful, and that you just happen to hit that status, like influencer status,
Yeah.
So I guess when you're using it in that term, is more of a status to where you can cause a greater impact by, persuading one way or another, I guess.
It's dope. Yep.
Love it. Love it.
That's a good one. All right, Bam Keith, what does influencer mean?
Well, it's pretty much everything that you guys all said. I mean, even the whole, the fake it till you make it sort of narrative. It's like, I always tell people, or my fellow musicians or rappers especially, I'm like, never do that. That's the worst advice you could ever have. Fake it till you make it. Somebody's going to pull that card before or after success, and you don't want it to be the latter. So after success, that's scary. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. And pretty much just being who you are, fully, I should say, because everyone will feel that. Everybody will feel we're being real. Everyone will feel it in your lyrics, in your writing, in your, people will feel it in your, even books. People who write books, they will understand it. They'll understand you fully all the way, and they will be influenced. Another thing that I had to remember is that someone who's maybe naturally, I don't want to say naturally because I don't think anyone's naturally negative, but like anyone who's typically negative, you can't change people. You can only inspire people to change themselves by leading with an example, pretty much. And I try to make everything I do be a beacon for an example for you to follow. And I mean, it's up to you at the end of the day. But I take pride in what I do, and the people around that can understand, they'll get others to understand, and then pretty much everyone will be in harmony. So, I mean, it's kind of like Jay-Z said, "Don't follow me, follow my moves. I'm not a role model." You have to do what you do, and know that what you're doing is right. You feel completely at peace in your heart about what you do. Know that you do it right. Know that what you're doing is influencing somebody else, kids, even adults, people older than me, younger than me. It doesn't matter. But as long as you can spark that person, that one person you spark could change the world. And,
I love the Jay-Z drop. I mean, I really did. I really did.
That's dope.
What about can I ask something really quick? Morgan, what does it mean to you to be an influencer? Because you are an influencer too.
I want to challenge that nobody sets out to be an influencer, because I don't think that's accurate. There's books on how to do it. We have people in Kansas City that spend $500 a month on Facebook ads that literally says, "I am an influencer. Vote for me for influencer of the year." So I mean, and I think it's hokey, like super, super campy stuff. But when we talk about influencers, I always flash back. It was really interesting, Bam Keith, that you said Jay-Z, because I was thinking Charles Barkley. And we're talking about way back. Way back. And he even had a commercial that was like, I am not a role model. And that was the most influential thing he could do, was to say, don't look at me for any answers. I don't have any, where he gave us an answer in every movement he made.
Well, you know, he got in trouble. He was getting in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what made him, he had to come out and say, look, stop following me. Don't do what I do.
And don't get me wrong. In the last 5 or 6 years, he has shown us that, no, we really shouldn't listen to him, because the earth is not flat, my friends. But we constantly are inundated with these messages, and it's a competition now, right? Because the world is vastly different. 13-year-old Morgan didn't have filters on or a cell phone, and she wasn't in a constant selfie contest with everyone she'd ever met. Now that's what life is, right? And it's not just 13-year-olds, it's everybody. So we are constantly trying to out-influence each other. Who can share the best meme? Who can do all the things? So I love what Anita said about, I'm just doing me. And I think Bam Keith and Glenn and Mally, you all are in that as well. You're doing you. And if somebody else thinks it's awesome, cool beans. But you're probably not changing who you are in order to do the things. You're just working the algorithm to get your message out there. And so I would like to see more of that. I would like to see people that aren't making a statement to see how many new followers they can get. They're really telling us what's in their heart.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I love it too.
All right, so Anita,
Yes.
who influenced you to do what you were doing, or who are your role models that you kind of follow a little bit?
My mother, who was one of the toughest women in the entire world. My mother was the first Black nurse to work in a supervisory position here in Kansas City, Missouri, back in 1950. Very smart lady. I read a book once that influenced me ridiculously, and I swear that Harriet Tubman is my, soul guide. Because I helped to save quite a bit of property and lands and sites of the Underground Railroad in 1995, and helped to pass a bill that preserves those sites throughout the United States and Canada. Nice. The next one would be a gentleman by the name of Eddie Baker. That what you see on 18th and Vine was not what was going to be. There was something called the International Jazz Hall of Fame in the 1980s. This is how far I go back. And Dizzy Gillespie and Ella Fitzgerald and Peggy Lee and all those people were still alive back then. And it was a huge idea that ended up being the American Jazz Museum. Nothing what you guys know. I am currently writing a book about what actually happened to Kansas City. And, those three people influenced, when you say you have every 10 years of your life, the first part was my mother. The second part was the library, where I found out all these incredible things. And then the third part was discovering jazz, which has never, ever left me as a human being. And I've able to turn it into more than people would ever understand. I've been able to travel the world because of it. And I've made some of the most incredible friendships that people would never believe I've done. So I owe my life to those three interventions.
I love it.
People who were role models for me.
It's amazing.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And Morgan gets the plug, the library shout out. We like that, right?
Yeah.
Mid-con represent.
Without it, I'd have been nothing without it.
It's awesome. All right, Mally, the same question. Who influenced you, and who's your role model?
Yeah, I would say my mom too. She's been a flight attendant my whole life, over 30 years. She's still a flight attendant today. So I'm blessed because I've always had a passport. I traveled as a child. She took us everywhere, even when we were little. So my love for travel started there.
Right.
And she's just always encouraged it. So definitely her. yeah, beyond that, just all the people that I get to meet on my travels, all the random people that I meet in the airport and in different countries who just show me that we're all the same and we're all, seeking the same thing. We all just want love and to be fed, I guess. We're all the same everywhere around the world. So those are the people that influence me.
That's dope. I love that. I know you write a lot of this when you meet people in your blogs on your website too. So people can follow you on your blogs too, right?
Absolutely. So my website is brokeassgirltravel.com. And I'm just broke ass girl travel on all social media. So yeah, I'm friendly. People often see me out and they're like, I think I see you at the airport, but I didn't know what to call you. I didn't want to come up and just call you broke. So
broke ass. Like what?
I answer that. That's me. So I get that a lot. So I tell people, no, next time just come over. So yeah, I'm friendly. I love meeting people, and that's it. So everybody influences me. Everybody that I meet every day.
I love it. I love that.
All right, Glenn, same question. Who influenced you, or who would you like your role models?
Okay, I start by like saying who motivated me. I can go back to my parents and my siblings for sure. Just seeing my mom struggle, that makes you want to give her a better life. She's passed on, but hopefully, you still want to make her proud. My brother, he looked up. He thought he always felt like he let me down as a brother. He made some other choices that got him into trouble, but he didn't realize how much he actually like motivated me, how proud of him I am. So that's another reason. As far as influence, I always say Ricky Phillips. That's the first the barbershop I worked in. He gave me a chance and he taught me everything I know and showed me like everything I can do. And again, I think I said him earlier, Joey Cuts. He came into the hair school that's what the first time I met him. And everybody knows Joey, if you're in anywhere, KC metro area. And again, this dude he showed me just by watching him, like he influenced me basically. Like I don't know. The sky's the limit. That's what I learned just by watching him. So that's a few, but I have a lot, honestly.
That's dope. All right, Bam, same question. Who influenced you and who are your role models?
My granddad, for sure. He was in the World War II. Actually, was the driver to drive Hitler's generals to be hung in the Nuremberg trials. Wow. And he drove all of them. And like Jeep could have been blown up at any time, like anything could have happened. He's always had the most. It's so crazy. Like I've always wanted to be like him, but I had to realize that like I'm myself. But he was so it seemed like everything he did was just so valid and perfect. Like he never talked a lot. Every time he talked, it was either something really funny or really valid to the situation, or a proverb of some sort, or and he worked really hard to pretty much build up the life that propelled my mom, and then my mom propelled me. And so and second, my mom, she I watched her go to school my whole life. She had 3 kids and got 2 masters in the medical field. And I watched her research type 1 diabetes. I helped her out. It's kind of creepy at Children's Mercy. You're paying you $25 for your blood and stuff. I'm like, all right, but it was kind of funny though. But no, she definitely helped me a lot with everything when it comes to my mindset or my mentality, or whenever I was low or down. She always had something, or had something from my granddad that from when he told her. I will always say too that music as a whole has taught me so much. Just I mean, even studying jazz, you know, I know Anita knows, like even studying jazz, it taught me so much. I remember learning my first jazz chords on the keys and learning like what they call them fat chords, PHAT, you know, they call them fat chords when it's like all full and fat sounding, you know, like all crazy. And like just learning about music, period, that really pushed me to a total, like a whole new level when it came to first making music, but also being a good listener of music and realizing that there's no right or wrong to music, only better. So it's pretty much those three as well that like I was influenced by a lot. And it's a few other people too. It's a few other people that's gone, that's passed away. John Cultures taught me how to never give up, ever. He fought through so much. Never give up, never give up. Rest in peace, rest in paradise, actually. And like a few of my other friends that I graduated from school with, and they've always just pushed me and would tell me certain things that I wouldn't even know about myself, you know, and would propel me into what I'm doing right now. And so you can, you know, just like I said earlier, you know, you can be influenced by people who are older than you, younger than you know, all of that. You never know what someone can teach you if you just lend an ear and listen for, you know. And so
And if everybody didn't know, Cultures, John, he's my brother. You know, he passed away last year. Last year he got shot and killed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So before we go to the next question, Morgan, do you have one person that you can say, and Sharon, what one person that you guys can say that influenced you guys and what you do?
Yes, but I'm also very interested to hear your answer. I'm going to go with a ridiculous one. I read Corey Tinboom. Have you guys read that book? This is an old book. Yes. She was hiding Jewish people in Nazi Germany. And I, like, 14-year-old me was like, whoa, that's what it means to really mean what you say. And so that was huge for me. It was the first book I'd read like that. And those lessons have stuck with me to this day.
Also, really quick, Marissa is in the building. She's here. Terrence is there. Jay is there. Talia is with us. Again, D. Coop, Ryan Harvey. If you're watching, tap in with us. If you got questions for some of our influencers, definitely throw those questions out there in the comments.
Yes, most definitely. And
who's your influence?
My influence,
one person. I know we got a lot, but
I really don't have any influencers that I follow or anybody that I want to be like. So it was basically me, but I played a lot of video games. I was a little different. I was kind of a geeky kid, so I really didn't have any influencers. So I would say video games influenced me. So
yeah, video games.
Yes.
Okay. Well, really, that's a little different. All right. Well, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. For me, is my grandfather. Man, he passed away the beginning of July. He was kind of like Bam and his grandfather. Like that was my guy. You know what I mean? He helped me experience more than what was, you know, around, and he took me out of my element and taught me so many things. So yeah, my grandfather was that guy for me. So
Yep. So Mally, I got one of the questions. Being
video games.
Yeah, video games.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry,
I basically ran everything. You know, I was the guy that everybody came to. You know, my sister, she came to me. My whole family came. My brother.
Cool.
I was the guy.
Cool.
So video games.
You got it.
I'm serious. So Mally, being one of 50 top travel influencers in the country, highlighted in the Essence article, what sets you apart from other influencers?
I think that my authenticity sets me apart. I just do me. I know, like, a lot of people are trying to fit the mold. When I first started blogging, I'm one of those people who likes to read everything and learn how to do things the correct way. And I had a lot of people who were bloggers come to me and say, you're not doing this right, or this is the way that you're supposed to do it. And this is how you have to edit your pictures and things have to look like this. And, you know, it wasn't until I just decided to kind of do me that everything kind of took off for me. So that's what I tell people when they ask me. I think it's my authenticity. I don't know. That's my guess.
I'm gonna also ask, what is your favorite place to travel that you ever been to?
People always ask me this, and I cannot.
I know.
I literally love everywhere that I go because I'm just happy to be able to go places. So I find beauty in everywhere, except for my house right now. Everywhere except for my house is amazing.
Well, you bought a house in South Africa.
I know.
I usually say Cape Town because I loved it enough to purchase a house there. I took a group and we went to Amalfi Coast, Italy, and it was like amazing. Pictures don't do it justice. Like, it's ridiculously beautiful. You just have to see it. And my best friend and I went to Turkey, and we had an amazing experience there with the people. They were just really overly nice and just excited to see brown people, and it was just an amazing experience. So we had a great time in Turkey. So those are the 3 places I say, but I love everywhere.
It's dope. It's dope. All right, so Bam, you was helping out with the Grammys, right?
Yes,
Can you tell us your experience and how you influence young artists to follow you in your journeys?
So, all right, I'm gonna answer this in reverse. I'll put it this way. I know there was a certain incident in my life around the time I was 16. I had gotten evicted out of the house that we were in, and at the time I was the only one there, and they pretty much threw out everything, food in the fridge, threw it out. It was raining. I was catching up grades. I had good grades, and then the projects that meant the most to my grade were getting ruined in the rain. People that were neighbors were stealing things that, people that we trusted for years and were friends with were taking our things. Like, it was honestly a humbling experience. And I felt something about that experience that I knew it was something that I was supposed to see. Even right there at that moment. I don't know how I knew, but I knew. And went through a little situation, even had to, we moved around a little bit, and I moved around like 4 times. I know my sisters, they were out of school and stuff, and I was still in school. I was a junior, so I had to move around a whole bunch, and never told anybody at school what was going on. Came to school with different clothes every day. Thanks to my sister Lauren, she still bought more clothes for me and stuff to help out. And I didn't know. The thing is, it's like when you see something like that, and then it takes about 1.5 years for something great to happen. All you can really do is just wait, and see what the turnout is, because for every bad thing, that you survive, I feel like there is an equal or parallel good thing that will happen too. And you just have to wait for it or work for it. You know what I mean? Either one. It's like, either one of the two. So about 1.5 years later, the only person that found out was my principal. And he told me, he said, I want you to come to my office every day at 12 p.m. I don't care if you're at lunch. I don't care if you're at class. Just show up my office at 12 p.m. You're excused every time, 12 p.m. every day. So I showed up the first day. It's a drum set up. And there's a camcorder in the corner. And he told me, he said, play the drums. I'm like, what you want me to play? He's like, play whatever. I'm like, okay. So I played it. Next day is a keyboard. played it. Next day it was a bass guitar, played it. Next day it was a guitar, an alto sax, and a baritone, and all these other instruments. And one day he was like, send me all those beats you've been making, you know, because during the time I was kind of moving around, I had like 5 friends' houses. I downloaded the software on their computers. I was making beats at the, you know, like during the time. And so, yeah, one day he ran up to me, streaming, crying. It's like, we did it, Brandon. We did it. We did it. And I'm like, what do we do? He's like shaking me. And he hands me a contract that's from the Grammys. This whole time, he had a connection that he was sending all these videos to the Grammys.
Wow.
And actually, I'll mention a little bit before that, I saw their email because I used to, you know, make the beats over my friends' houses and send it to, my own email. So I saw an email from them, thought it was spam, deleted it, got a phone call. I like, thought it was whatever. I don't know. I mean, you know, Grammys happening right now. You know, they came up to my school. They actually came from LA to my school. It was like, we need him, you know. Wow. And he handed me the contract. I was introduced to all of them. It happened in the most least expected way. You know, you just kind of get used to living like a certain kind of way after something like that happens, you know, and then you start to lose faith because you don't realize that there's something around the corner, right? So pretty much when it did happen, I had tried to confine myself, you know, because I'm naturally a polite person. You know, I didn't want to like just, hey, I know how to play 16 instruments. Like, watch me. You know what I mean? Just like, I didn't want to do all that. I had to find something in there. Out of 500 applicants that signed up, only 25 made it in the program. Out of 25 that made it through the program, they picked 3 to intern for them. Out of 3 to intern for them, they picked 1 to work for them. And here I am.
Yeah.
So,
wow, that's dope.
Nice. That is dope.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm like, you know, it's
I mean, that's the thing. The thing is, man,
we live for stories like that.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, the stories. I mean, you know what? Like, you see people in the element that they're in, right? And that, like, what's up, Tammy? Tammy just tapped in with us. You see people, you know, where they are, but you don't really know their story, right? You see people working, you see folks producing things, you see the content, you see the articles, but you really don't know where people come from, right? And their backstories to get where they are. So when you hear those backstories and you can understand, you can relate to those folks, it just makes it all the more better, right? It wasn't like Bam said, well, you know what? I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I just had this, my parents had a connection to the Grammys. They just put a phone call in for me really quick, and they just connected that. And, I went over there, and so when you hear this, when you hear messages and stories like that, it inspires other folks to do more and do better. So it's phenomenal. I mean, so we love and appreciate the share of the story. Glenn, we got to meet, and I wanted to go back to Glenn. We got to meet your brother. I think he came to one of our speaker series sessions. Yeah. And so your brother was actually almost in tears seeing you up on stage, and talking and giving your background and your feedback. And we saw that, and it was just inspiring. Yeah. And Mallory, dude, like when you said your mom was a flight attendant, it kind of like, it makes sense, right? You're like, when we talk about authenticity, right, and your travels and things like that, it makes sense, right? I mean, like, what else would you be doing other than traveling and exploring and learning the world and all that good stuff? Like, it just makes sense. So, I mean, when you get to hear people's backstories, it just all matters, So, Bam, we appreciate you sharing, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I'm never embarrassed or afraid to tell anybody any of those things, because you never know what can happen from it. And I indirectly did not give up on accident. It was like I was just obsessed with music. I don't know. You know, it was like, all right, we homeless, but I still need to play this piano. Like, you know what I mean? Or I still need to practice on, you know, I'm like,
people are put in our lives sometimes, and we don't really understand why they're put in our lives sometimes. And it, when it shows itself, when those things show themselves, it just makes everything more beautiful. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, agreed. So we can, all right, we can stop crying. Anita, get that tissue. We can stop. We can straighten our faces back out.
Y'all don't know. I'm a grandma. To hear that story,
I love it.
It brought back some stuff for me because I was evicted and I had to sit outside. I have a special needs daughter. And at that time, I lost one of the biggest contracts ever. And it took everything that I had, and I was put out in the street. And I had to literally stay in my car with my special needs kid for 3 days so people wouldn't steal my stuff, you know, and to hear that what came out of that, you know, to see where I am now and do those things, you know, you just got to decide that life is just there for you to live and this too shall pass.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's your talent kept you alive, brother. It just did.
Yeah.
You know, and it will never, ever, ever fail you. Music, I'm not a musician. I'm not, can't sing, none of that. I just have such a respect for the way music has changed and galvanized the world that anything that I can do, this is like a legacy project for me, right? I don't have any other reason to put the things in place that I'm putting in place other than I know there's somebody coming behind me. I don't play the music. I don't do those things. And I know that the industry is kind of lopsided, and I went in there to fix it. And I found the holes. I plugged the holes, and people will probably never know that I plugged the holes. But what does that matter if it saves someone from killing themselves or somebody from getting off the streets? Or, you know, what does that matter? You know, the world will always benefit when the music is in the air. And if you don't take care of the sources, the musicians, we're doomed. So that's my thing. I take care of that. I write grants and I sit up in front of computers and nobody knows I'm there. It's cool.
But
Just so long as I get to hear Marvin Gaye. I don't care.
Your footprint is there.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
It is. And that was very moving. Thank you so much, because that's a part of my life I like to just push away because it was so painful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
With you on that.
Special. That's special.
All right.
Terrence had a question too on the chat.
How does Casey fit in the music scene, and what can be done, unify and mobilize like more established towns?
Can I please answer that?
Yeah. It's a two-person answer. Anita and Bam, what do you guys think about that?
Let me say this. Kansas City has not put its history in the forefront of its music. Okay? We are one of the what's considered to be one of the 4 pillars of the creation of the only indigenous art form known to America. Because there has been such a racist, and you just have to say it, a racist attempt to be something else, you know, the music has gone into the background. So what we need to do is understand that everything that a musician does here, producing, if they're songwriters, if they're jazz artists, they need to understand that there's this tremendous market of playing right away. A huge one that will welcome you with open arms, that will give you the funding that you need. The first funding that I got came from Copenhagen, $10,000. Did not come from Kansas City. And what I have to understand is that they are trying to deliberately squelch the industry here because the industry is bigger than they are. And if any of these producers and cats and stuff like that that put this music out here, if they ever understand that this music is the savior of Kansas City, not just jazz, but all of their music is the savior of Kansas City, every so-called rich son of a biscuit eater in this town would have to take a back seat. to what Kansas City artists are doing. But it's that daggum mentality that we're not as big as or that much as someplace else. And we hold the key to what they're doing in Japan, to what they're doing in Dubai, Thailand, all of these places. Anytime some Japanese dudes can get up and start singing gospel like they're the Ink Spots, okay, we got problems.
Yeah.
And we need to be sure that we get that done. So yeah, Kansas City is only being squelched by the fact that there's some entities out there that keep you from here. Don't listen to them. You have opportunity. You have the technology. No one can stop you any longer because it's all at your fingertips now. Look at this. It's all at your fingertips now. So quit listening to that mess. You got enough money, you got enough stuff, you got enough time, you got enough talent. Make it happen.
So Terrence, I think from Anita's perspective, you can call her if you got any questions about, if you want to tap into that music scene. Ben, what you think about that?
You know, I agree with everything that Anita was saying. Honestly, like being an engineer, I get to meet and talk to and influence and be influenced by a huge plethora of artists that's here that come from Kansas side, they come from, you know, or the Wyandotte side, they come from, or the Lee Summit, or you know, Kansas City, the inner city. Like I was in the inner city for a while when I started engineering, and so many different people from so many different places around the area were coming to the studio, and honestly, it is. I believe everyone is conditioned.
Yes.
I believe everyone is conditioned to the way things used to be. And I think that there are many other ways now to blow up, even from Kansas City, or to have the music heard and have someone who's understanding, or have, you know, and I believe that the thing is that a lot of artists, I believe they try to go after fans. And I believe that going after other people who will listen to your music, it's okay. That's okay. I think I have a better strategy for this chess game. I think going after the CEOs and the people that actually control what's happening in the industry is going to work. I released a project. There's an artist named Cuddy Bear. Shout out to Cuddy Bear. Terrence, you know what Cuddy Bear is, you know.
Yeah.
And man, like I released this project with him. It's called Trouble in Paradise. I executive produced the whole project and mixed everything. And with the project, he put it out the exact way. It was hilarious. He didn't want to do some of the things I was telling him to do because he felt like it didn't make sense. But I'm like, for you should do this. You should really do this. I think that it would change something. And that's what he did. He got a live band for his release date. He had booked out this, this venue. He had people recording it. Someone did like a little video of it and added it to his documentary. He had did all this stuff. And what we did is that we took that, and of course, me having my name behind it, I said, okay, now that I have this, I'm going to drop my first album, because what I'm going to do is you have the fans. I'm going to go to the CEOs. My name is going to be connected to you. Right after that, sync label. I got a sync label deal from London. The Grammys have started to become involved in everything that I'm doing. It's something growing here. It's to break out of that mentality, that conditioning, because I know how it used to be when I was in the 8th grade and Fat Tone was popular. You know what I'm saying? I know how it used to be when, you remember, y'all remember, like, I know how it used to be. And people like what Glenn was saying, just changing the narrative. Glenn, actually, Joey Cutts is my first cousin. He's my dad's sister's son. So he having that someone that knows how to change the narrative in their industry and what they're doing, could change a lot. There's a lot of other places that have a lot of other things that Kansas City doesn't have. But out of 25 soul states I've been to and 7 different countries, I've never seen anybody as creative as Kansas City. I've never seen anything as creative as Kansas City ever. And I believe that it takes maybe someone, I don't know, my age, someone younger. There's a guy named Kai Colors is blowing up now in the city. He's like, you know, he's really doing a lot. He has a good heart. He's working towards what he's working towards because it's him. You know, Mally talked about authenticity. People can feel it, you know. Not trying to be something. Yeah, you can grow up this way, but if you're not that way, why pretend to be that way? You know, that's another thing. So yeah, I pretty much agree with what Anita was saying, and I think that's how we can get this market up. And so now, cool news is that I started a publishing company with my manager, and I named it after Cultures, Sharon's little brother, and it's called Cultures Music Publishing. And Cultures is just a perfect name. Not only are we honoring John, but we are publishing multiple different cultures of music. You know, there's Latin jazz, there's like hip hop, there's pop, there's a lot of stuff that we're publishing now. And to have that staple in this city now, I believe that that'll help people understand the industry now. You know, I mean, TikTok and SoundCloud is cool, man. It's cool, but like, you know, there's other things that can happen in this music that can blow this place up.
Yeah, it is.
We're the most creative. I feel like we are, you know, and so yeah, that's what I think.
Most definitely. Thank you, Bam.
Yeah.
Glenn, I had a question for you, right quick. You traveled.
That was Morgan's question.
Oh, go ahead, Morgan.
But I'm just saying, you can take her question if you want to.
Go ahead, Morgan. You got it.
All right. Sorry about the mix-up, Glenn. Promise I'll make it worth your time.
Okay.
So
I'm confused for a second. I got you.
We're fighting over questions.
It's like week 24. That's just what you eventually come to.
Right.
Glenn, in all of your work across the nation and internationally, doing these classes and influencing people, do you intentionally set a tone? And if you do, how do you go about that?
Setting a tone?
Setting a tone. Like when you walk into the classroom, how intentional are you when you do that? Do people leave your experiences with your flavor then added to their recipe?
You know, go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
No, I set out to tell a story most of the time. Mm-hmm. You know, I set out to kind of like set it up so that they see a progression in a story, you know, and then when I get to where I'm trying to get, you know, whatever I've been brought there to speak about, you know, then usually most of the people find their position or their way into what I did with the story. And then they're more willing to listen to whatever it is. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm never trying to change anyone's mind. I'm just trying to get people to see where they fit in the fabric of things. You know, everybody fits in the fabric. There's just, so if you tell this incredible story, you know, and everybody's following you on this incredible story, then they begin to think, once they get to the end of it, oh, then I can do that. Because not only did she do that, then there are other people who were woven into the story that did it. And now we've got this huge fabric cloth. What do we do with it? You know, and then you kind of leave the room with a hope that worked. $250 an hour is what I charge. And at that situation, I never go in thinking that it's anything but what someone asked me to do. You know, Anita, we want you to talk to some kids who feel like they've lost their way in what they want to do and maybe musical help. Well, I've got tons of those stories, and I've got those stories from some of the greatest minds in the world. I've heard those stories from Dizzy Gillespie. I've heard those stories from Sarah Vaughan. I've heard those stories from people who they only have heard of. So I'm able to bring them into those situations and then let them know there is a place for you because you're here. You would not be here hearing this if there wasn't someone looking out for you here or there. Now, decide for yourself which way it's going to be, because it's going to happen regardless as to which direction you go. You're going to have what you want because you want it. And that's simple as that. Because you want it. Just want it. Want it and go for it. And nothing can stop you. Nothing.
I love Mally's dog trying to get in the way
Yeah.
of the whole shot.
The dog.
Anita's giving us some gems.
Yeah.
And the dog is like,
Buying the
like-
thing.
I want this attention.
He runs the show.
He's
and
so beautiful though.
Play fed,
Yes.
so there's no other time we right now. So,
It's perfect. It's perfect.
I'm sorry.
All right, Glenn, it's your
My dogs
time.
are put in the garage because they'd be doing the same thing.
He's really loud, so he like screams like I'm murdering him or something. So that's why he's right here. And you know,
Yes.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious.
Hey, am I good? Can you hear me good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, Glenn. Take it away.
Okay. Just making sure my connection was kind of messed up. Basically, when I go into any classes, I definitely, it depends on the class, but everyone always, there's this expectation, or some people try to go in and intimidate, or I was even taught when I was in getting my instructor license that you want to let it be known that you're in charge, basically. But when I go into these classes, I'm just myself, you know, and I always want everyone to know that we're basically on the same playing field, you know, and that kind of breaks down those walls and all the nerves that all the students have, or anyone attending the class, they're just gone, you know, and we're having a good time. Everyone's receiving. It's always like, every class I do is always the same type of people. I'm sure you guys can relate. There's the ones that they try to test you, you know, they want to see, you know, and there's some that are kind of nervous because they think like they can't do it or whatever. But it's just fun. You know, you have a way of dealing with every type of person. But the main thing is I want everyone on the same playing field, whether you've been in the industry like 3 days or 30 years or 40 years or whatever.
Right.
You know?
I've seen some videos of Glenn when he was on stage. He you know, Glenn like doesn't just do regular classes. I mean, he does regular classes, but he also does stage presentations where he has the overall, I mean, the suspenders and the top hat and everything else, going back to, I think you're paying homage to some barbers that clean up back in the day to actually do their gig. What you think about that, Glenn?
Man, I love it. Just that classic feel, first of all, and second of all, it's just a level of professionalism. You know, I had this chat. You know, I guess that's a part of setting the tone. You know, just the way you dress or carry yourself goes a very long way. So, man, I love it. It's just like paying homage to that classic barber feel, and you get an excuse to dress up.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
It was dope. It's kind of your brand too, a little bit too. You know, when you dress up and you know the show is clean. Like I saw a couple of your videos, you make sure it's neat when you cutting the hair and it's smooth, are leveled or whatever, and you perfect it with your comb and stuff.
It's just it's.
I get that. I get that treatment. I get that treatment on the Just saying.
Every 2 weeks. It's just art. When you doing something you love, it shows. No matter what you do. If you're cooking and you don't have that love, it doesn't even taste the same or look the same. You know, just everything you do, if you see it and everyone else notices it when you have that passion for it.
Absolutely. Morgan, I think Morgan has another last question.
Yes. One last question to wrap us up before we do the roundtable. Anita, tell us what's up with the Charlie Parker celebration.
There's a number of celebrations going on all over the city, but UNESCO Creative City of Muses is doing something special. We're having a sunrise ceremony in 18th and Vine at the Charlie Parker Statue Memorial that's down there on the morning of the 29th. If anybody actually looks at that statue, they will see, or the monument, they will see if you go to the right side of it, it's in the shape of Africa. And the gentleman who was Robert Graham, who actually created, that is his depiction of a death mask from Africa. Because what this man understood is that jazz is a construct that came over on the slave ships of Africa. Okay, just period. Anyone else who wants to dispute that, that's another conversation with me. But what we have to understand is the morning of the sunrise ceremony, we actually have African drummers who will be there in the morning as the sun rises to welcome this 100-year celebration of this incredible innovator. And then as the day goes on, we're going to be interviewing poets and a number of people across the world. The world's UNESCO creative cities, which is 56 of them across the world, will be sending congratulations all day long on our news feed. And at the evening, we're having a sunset ceremony on the roof of the Kansas City Museum. Ooh. And like I said, there's a number of other events going on across, but that's what UNESCO is doing for Charlie Parker. And let me tell you, it is an honor that I never thought I would live to see. You know, that this great man from Kansas City, you know, being lauded so much around the world. And then walking up to a kid in Kansas City who goes, Charlie Parker, who, you know, and it's something that needs to be brought back, that legacy. So this monument that sits in the back of 18th and Vine, we've got to let people know that that is an African death mask. And on the front of it says, "Bird lives." And this is an incredible, incredible piece that we have to be able to let people know that the legacy of Charlie Parker began on the streets of Kansas City in our hometown.
That's powerful.
When is
So
that?
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday, August 29th. If you wish, please wear your mask. And if you wish to join us, the sunrise, we actually have the sunrise at 6:15 that morning, and the African drummers will drum in his birthday, and then there'll be day-long activities, and then we will go to the Kansas City Museum. We actually have a woman saxophonist who will be on the roof of the Kansas City Museum at sunset when we do the end of his. So it's all full circle. It's all full circle. And the people around the world are like, you know, when I go places and talk about things, I'm like, I'm Anita Dixon from Kansas City. You know, I come to Kansas City and they go, oh, well, you know, that's Anita Dixon. I ain't mad at y'all. Because I can go to Italy, boy, and they go, oh, Miss Dixon, there she is. So, you know, it's all relative. That's what we're doing for Charlie Parker, and it's going to be amazing.
Well, we will be there, and we are definitely supporting. That's phenomenal.
I hope so.
And Morgan is going to be on the cleanup crew.
Yep.
I'm just letting you know because Morgan likes to be on the cleanup crew for anything.
What's my new name? Trash Pickup Morgan. That's which Morgan I am.
Anytime we talk about events or something like that, Morgan's like, yeah, that's great. But who's actually going to be cleaning up afterwards?
Who is cleaning?
I love
Those
it, though.
event budgets. Trash pickup is expensive.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope nobody's bringing any Slurpees that morning because I sure will be upset. It's Charlie Parker sunrise, and you will hear it from me. So don't bring your trash. Don't bring your breakfast sandwiches from McDonald's. That's gonna be out. Okay, it ain't gonna work. So I'm excited.
So what are your closing thoughts? You have any, Ben?
Yeah, so our camera keeps going in and out. I don't know what's up. Something different. You know, we're just trying to be flexible, right? Keep moving with it.
Right.
My closing thoughts. First of all, we appreciate everybody for again taking your time. I know, you know, everybody's got something to do. COVID, I don't know, man. COVID has made a lot of people more busy than they were before actually COVID hit. So, you know, But again, we appreciate you all taking time out of your days to spend with us and the Porterhouse Kansas City family, KC family. We had a lot of people tapping in, a lot of good feedback, so we appreciate that. Anita, we will be there on the 29th.
I hope so.
At sunrise. Bam Keith, we're supporting the music. Keep pushing that music. If we need to put another theme song, just let us know on the show, because we're open to it. We love it.
On it.
Love it. Glenn, keep being powerful and doing what you do. Glenn put a video on Instagram about a week ago, maybe more than a week ago. This young man that was talking about his hair, and he didn't have confidence. He had some issues. He had some things because the school that he went to was a predominantly white school, and the environment that he's in, he get a lot of flack because of his hair. And Glenn had a really great conversation with that young man. And so I just want to, again, throw some praises to you and the conversations that you're having with these young people. You're more than an artist. You're more than a barber. You're more than a stylist. You are an inspiration to the community, and to the people that you serve, and all our young people that's watching you and that you get to touch. So again, we appreciate you, man, for what you do, for sure. And Mally, thank you for being you. There's not a lot of black people. I mean, there's some black people that travel, but there's not a lot of black people that's giving us the experience that you're giving us. Yep. You know what I mean? Very true. I watched Anthony Bourdain all the time and how his cooking experiences when he would travel, but I also watched your travel experiences when you were able to get out and travel and post pictures of all these exotic places and overlooking rainforest and outdoor bathtubs and all this other stuff, and jacuzzi tubs that were outdoors overlooking the jungles and all that. I watched. I mean, we kept tabs, keep tabs on that. So we appreciate that, and thank you for that. So once this thing lets up, we're back on it.
Yeah, let us know the secret trades of travel, and because we need to know.
Hey, did you hear a dog yell? A dog just
dog yell.
So that's my closing thought.
Trip. That's it. That's what he's trying to say.
There you go.
Yep. And my closing thoughts are thank you.
Let them before.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm sorry, Morgan.
I was not prepared for that. So, closing thoughts tonight. I want to take a moment and just explain that we've been in this for over 20 weeks, and it's every single Wednesday, and we have run the gamut of subjects. And the reason why that's important is because Wednesday nights with Porterhouse KC, they're encouraging the Black narrative to come forward, but not just from the expected places, from all the places.
Yeah.
And that is so critical right now to get these stories out. And we've heard it from guest after guest after guest after guest that we need to get to know ourselves. So I fall a little bit more in love with Kansas City every Wednesday night because we're not getting to know each other before now. And the fact that that's happening during COVID is a testament to humanity. And I'm not a person who goes around saying, you know what, I love other humans. That doesn't come out of my mouth very often. But I have met so many amazing people in Kansas City through this, and people that keep coming up in conversation, because that's the deal. Once you see it once, then when that name gets dropped, you recognize it. Or that opportunity comes around, you think of that person. And thank you for joining this conversation and being vulnerable with us, because this is where we really get to make the change. This is where it happens with the sharing. So I hope for those of you that are watching, you continue to tune in on Wednesday nights as we find another awesome thing about Kansas City and about building the Black economy that you didn't know yet. This is literally the best thing I could do with my time. So thank you for being here with us.
Well, thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. And Anita, your closing thoughts?
Anita.
Ooh.
Anita.
Oh, me?
Yes.
I'm amazed at the young people that I'm seeing tonight. You know, I live in an old group. And everybody's all single. You know, these young kids, get out of here. These kids are doing more than we ever dreamed. They are literally living the cartoon that we used to watch. So, you know, I'm proud of you guys. I'm amazed by you all. And I hope whatever I'm doing helps you in the future. So when you get here, you'll do the same. You know, I'm looking at my life on the other end of things now. And I just want to help. I don't want to, you know, my dance and two-stepping days are gone. Gone. So I just want to watch you carry it on from here. That's all I want to do. Let me help.
Thank you. All right, Mally, you have any shout outs? Or after closing thoughts? I'm sorry, closing thoughts. Closing thoughts.
Yeah, thank you for letting me join and meet all of you, and hopefully we'll be able to collaborate or meet and do something. I can't come to the event on the 29th because I'm actually going out of town for the first time since March. I'm just going to Colorado. But I'm excited for that. But hopefully I'll be able to come to something else in the future or collaborate or, you know, Bam sing on the track, you know what I'm saying? Up the hair and, you know. So thank you.
And Mally, tell us how we can reach you or your platforms.
Yep. Again, I'm on all social media. It's at Broke Ass Girl Travel, or it's brokeassgirltravel.com. I answer all my messages and emails and everything. You can reach me any kind of way. So
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Did Anita give her share?
No, Anita. I'm sorry, Anita. I didn't ask you. Could you tell your platforms that anybody can reach you?
I've got several. You can go to Creative City KC on Facebook, or you can go to my my own webpage and find out who I am. And that's www.sage, S-A-G-E, sageworldview.com.
Dope. And we're looking forward to that book too.
Oh, it's coming, and when it drops.
Right.
We're excited.
Glenn, your closing thoughts?
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me for sure. It was a blast. All I can really say is don't really set out for the popularity or, you know, trying to be an influencer. That's really dope if that's what you make it to. But just do it for the love. You know, no matter what you do, if you don't do it with that love, then, you know, it's just no point, really. So don't worry about the popularity. Don't worry about all that extra that comes with it. Just do it for the love and trying to make a difference. I think that's all. Yeah, that's all.
Right on. And how can we reach you on your platforms, or, you know, how can people ask questions?
Most of them, Instagram, Snapchat. Most of them are Glenn Styles, and Styles is spelled Stylez. Facebook is Glenn Walters Jr. I think that's all. Yeah.
Government names.
I know.
Right, you know how it is.
Right.
Tarsha, shout out to Tarsha, Miss Scott. She's watching. I just wanted to give that shout out really quick.
All right, and Bam, give out your closing thoughts.
Yeah. No. Thank you guys for having me on here. Being able to tell my story and to help, you know, motivate and to help inspire. That's really what I want to do all the time, anyways, and what I try to do every single day. I would like to say, you know, for anyone that is watching, that's thinking about doing something, or something's been really pushing them or tugging them to do something, go and do it. Right now, at this point in time, is the time to go and do whatever you were trying to do. It's a space of grace. That's what I'm calling it. A space of grace. And it's giving us time to get everything together that we need to do. And so, so just go for it. Go for it and do it. And, you know, you'll catch me doing it. So, you know, go ahead. And I guess, what you guys say? Platforms? Oh, yeah, that's right. at bamkeith.com or at bamkeith on pretty much everything, Twitter, Instagram, no underscores or anything. It's just Bamkeith. You can go to bamkeith.com as well, or you can go to my label, daywolf.com, and you'll be able to see that on there. So that's DEWOLFE. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and we put
Let y'all know, yeah.
put that in the chat so they can go to it too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bam.
Okay.
So
For
my
sure,
closing
for sure.
thoughts, I would like to say I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. All the audience, everybody who's on the show asking the questions. My wife Aisha, Jay Allen. Who else is on here?
We had Tammy on there. We had Talia on there. We had Terrence on there. We had D. Coop in the building. We had Morgan comment. We had Marissa. Just Ryan Harvey was tapped in. LaMonica was tapped in. Kiana was tapped in.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And I like to thank the guests, Anita, Mally, Glenn, Bam. Man, thank you. I appreciate y'all for coming on. And always, as always, reach us to Porterhouse KC on Facebook, both platforms. And I'd like to also give a shout out to PlexPod for hosting, for us being at their spot. Well, this is where we sometimes come and do our shows. So thank you, PlexPod. And that's it for me. Thank you for tuning in and What's Next show. Peace.
Thank you.
I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. I'm up to some. Iamd.c, glad that you know. I'm up to some. Heaven just gave me the green light to go. I'm up to some. Girl, I been knew that you been down. I'm up to some. It's always you and your friends round. I see you got the new kin style, pretty in style. Been thinking though, they heard my name round, they don't think I know. Your girl in the back when a cloud chase. I guess for the night we'll keep it OC. That's a great distraction, but you know I'm on a mission. Y'all got 3 months to get practice, almost like I'm chasing chicken, cuz I'm up to